In the world of Neosia, it's always the massive empires and the legendary heroes that get all the attention. But sometimes, real power isn't about the size of your army. Today, we're going to look at one of the most overlooked, yet vital nations out there, the Draz, a people whose greatest strength is simply their ability to endure.
So, take a look at this map. Tucked away on that northwestern edge, you see Draz. For centuries, this wasn't just a spot on a map. It was basically a world unto itself. Surrounded by nasty, treacherous seas, they were a complete mystery to everyone else, just developing on their own terms. And their home? Well, it was something else. We're not talking about lush forests or rolling hills here. We're talking toxic, chemical-rich swamps. But this incredibly harsh landscape, it turned out to be the very thing that forged the Drazian people, giving them traits that would, believe it or not, one day save the world.
So the big question is, how does a nation this cut off from everything suddenly burst onto the world stage? Well, it all started, funnily enough, with a flock of birds and some really, really curious scientists.
Okay, so picture this. It's 112 BCE, and some scientists from the nation of Naya have a puzzle they just can't crack. Where on earth do these white-tailed geese go every year? So they launch this incredibly dangerous expedition, sail through terrible storms, and finally their ships wash up at a tiny fishing village. They had just become the first known outsiders to ever set foot in Draz.
Now the Neans were probably bracing for the worst, right? They're expecting to meet hostile spear-wielding tribes. But what they found was the complete opposite. The Draz were surprised, for sure, but they were also incredibly curious. They welcomed the newcomers. So this critical first contact wasn't about conflict at all. It was about genuine curiosity.
And that first friendly hello quickly turned into something much, much bigger. An alliance that would literally redraw the map of Neosia forever.
And look at how fast this all happened. In just 1 year, one single year, they went from being total strangers to formal allies. This tells you everything you need to know about the Draz. This wasn't a military pact or a trade deal. It was a partnership built on one thing, a shared, desperate hunger for knowledge.
And make no mistake, this was absolutely a two-way street. Yeah, Nia brought the fancy tech, the advanced science, the maps of the known world, but Draz wasn't just some backwater pupil. They offered incredible knowledge of their own, secrets of the northern seas, and most importantly, an understanding of the unique plants in their homeland, plants that had unbelievable medicinal power.
So, this alliance of the minds didn't just stay in the library. Oh no, it got put to the test almost immediately by both the call of the unknown and the drums of war. Working together, they discovered the land of Elmar. But when another nation, the aggressive Demogo, started raiding Elmar for slaves, the Draz didn't just sit on the sidelines. They jumped right in, joining Nia and the local Elmec people to declare war. They were fighting to end slavery, proving right away that they were principled and reliable allies.
And here's where we see their unique upbringing shine on the battlefield. The Draz didn't fight in neat little lines. They used clever, hit-and-run guerrilla tactics. Skills they had perfected over generations of just trying to survive in those treacherous swamps. Their pragmatism was their deadliest weapon. So the Draz had proven themselves as explorers and as allies. But their greatest test, their true defining moment, was about to wash over Neosia like a tidal wave, bringing the entire world to its knees.
The year was 44 BCE, and with it came a plague that would forever be known as the brown rot.
It was a nightmare. This lethal fungus that came out of the jungle just ripped through the trade routes, and it was absolutely devastating. We're talking entire cities in the most powerful nations just gone. Society completely collapsed. This was an apocalypse-level event.
Every great nation was falling apart, except one, the Draz. They were different. While the rest of the world was dying, the Draz would, at worst, get a slight fever. Their hidden strength was suddenly the entire world's last and only hope.
Now this wasn't magic, it was pure biology. It's a trait called poison resistance. And it makes perfect sense, right? You spend generations and generations living in a toxic soup of a homeland, your body is going to evolve to fight back. Their immune systems are just built different, giving them a natural defense against the very thing killing everyone else.
But the Draz didn't just sit back and survive. They got to work. Their researchers, who understood toxins better than anyone, teamed up with scientists from Florencia, and together in 40 BCE, they developed a cure. They literally saved Neosia from the brink, and in doing so, they cemented themselves as an utterly indispensable nation.
So what do we take away from the story of this quiet, practical nation? Well, it's an incredible story of how the very traits forged in isolation can become the bedrock of global power.
I mean, you can just see the patterns so clearly. Their love of knowledge, that's what led to the alliance with Naya. Their down-to-earth pragmatism, that's what won them the war. Their incredible resilience, that's what let them survive the plague. And their willingness to collaborate, that's how they found the cure. Every single major event in their history comes directly from these core traits.
Today, Draz is no longer a mystery. That swampy homeland of theirs produces an incredibly valuable resource called Drazian ore. Their unique, no-nonsense approach to problems is actually studied as Drazian pragmatism. They managed to transform themselves from an isolated tribe into an essential and deeply respected global partner.
Which really leaves you with a fascinating question to chew on. In a world that's so often defined by brute force and flashy magic, maybe the story of the Drathics proves that the greatest power of all is simply the ability to adapt, to endure, and to solve problems, to just survive.